Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. Police in Guyana accused of instituting a ban on Haitians arriving in the country. This story takes the lead in our 1121st edition of Caribbean Perspective for Thursday, 27th May 2021. Details after this break.
Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenlec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. The Guyana Police Force, which is in charge of immigration matters, has denied instituting a ban on Haitian nationals arriving in the country. More from Gordon Mosley of News Source Guyana.
The police force has denied as fake news a report which surfaced in another section of the press claiming that a ban had been instituted on the admission of Haitians to the country. In its statement, the police force said it has not been directed by any authority to ban Haitians from entering Guyana. The force also said the police commissioner has also not been instructed to impose any such ban. The police commissioner is the chief immigration officer. The release came almost 2 hours after 17 Haitians who were denied entry into the country in the past 2 days were sent on a flight back to Barbados. The police force said the 17 were among 61 Haitian passengers who arrived during that period. Those who were refused entry had failed to satisfy immigration requirements, according to the police. The force did not provide details on the specific issues that resulted in the 17 Haitians being denied entry. However, those who were denied entry were kept at the airport in immigration custody until they were sent back to Barbados this afternoon. Last November, the government came under heavy criticism after it rounded up and detained 26 Haitian nationals and made moves to deport them after they were already granted entry into the country. The Haitians were eventually released from custody, and the High Court later ruled that their detention was illegal. Haitians have been coming to Guyana over the years to travel to neighboring Brazil and Suriname to take up jobs.
In an SVG TV news item with Rochelle Batiste, we learned that with just a few days away before the 2021 hurricane season begins, the NEMO director has been advising citizens to take all the necessary precautions to prevent flooding and landslides from adding to their already devastating experiences with natural disasters within recent times.
With just 11 days away from the start of the 2021 hurricane season, Director of the National Emergency Management Organization, Michelle Forbes, is urging citizens, especially those who have been authorized to return home in the orange zone and selected parts of the red zone, to adequately prepare ahead of time. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is predicting another above normal Atlantic hurricane season. Forecasters predict a 60% chance of an above normal season, a 30% chance of a near normal season, and a 10% chance of a below normal season. However, experts do not anticipate this historic level of storm activity seen in 2020. The NEMO director, however, warns that it only takes one heavy rainfall event or storm to impact St. Vincent and the Grenadines adversely. Forbes is advising persons where possible to clear their roofs of ash, and while doing so to ensure they do not damage the galvanized by using sharp objects such as shovels, which could create leaks and may only be observed during rainfall. Forbes said with the heavy ash fall and debris in the mountains, persons should be mindful of lahars or mud flows, especially those closest to river valleys.
As we approach the hurricane season, we need to be prepared. We need to be ready. We have seen a year generally where we can have different type of emergencies. We had the volcanic emergency, an eruption. We also had the heavy rainfall after the eruption that brought down lahars. And going into the hurricane season, we can still see lahars, especially in the river valleys, because we know a lot of ash is still in the mountain. A lot of broken trees that have been burnt or broken, so we can have debris and flows coming down the mountain with trees and heavy ash. And we need to be mindful of the rainfall, in particular for this hurricane season. Those communities closer to Africa, where we can have the lahars. We must be prepared a little bit more. I think we have been impacted, I said, by several events. I know we are resilient people, but we must really take the hurricane season 2021 seriously.
Over in St. Lucia, health regulators there continue to caution against the use of ivermectin for the treatment of COVID-19 symptoms. Authorities citing leading medical agencies around the globe, including the WHO, warn that there is no conclusive evidence of the efficacy of the antiparasitic against COVID-19. However, despite the warning, one well-known medical practitioner in St. Lucia continues to push back. Stanley Lucian of HTS News Force reports.
The heated debate over the use of the antiparasitic drug ivermectin in the treatment and prevention of COVID-19 rages on, with one of the leading local advocates for its use in the fight against the pandemic, Dr. Gilbertha St. Rose, continuing to speak in glowing terms about the drug.
And we are so happy and we thank God that we have ivermectin, a well-aged and tested remedy to give us such fantastic results in the treatment of COVID-19.
But the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belma George, has pushed back strongly against the use of ivermectin in the treatment and prevention of COVID-19. She says neither the science nor the world's reputable medical institutions support its use in combating and preventing COVID-19.
I would not authorize or be a part of anything that's going to expose our population to a treatment that has not gone through the full clinical trial to manage an illness. It has been shown to treat parasites, and that should be the use. The FDA has also put out a very strong statement last week, making it very clear that the approval is only for the treatment of parasites and it should not be used at any point to manage COVID-19.
The president of the St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association, Dr. Merle Clark, weighed in on the debate. She says the SLMDA strongly supports the position of the chief medical officer and, by extension, the Ministry of Health.
We'd like to say categorically that as a St. Lucia Medical and Dental Association, we never have recommended the use of ivermectin for prevention or treatment of COVID-19. Multiple trials have been done and no trial has shown it to be effective. No reputable agency has recommended the use of ivermectin. The reality is ivermectin is approved for use as antiparasitic. And it can be used in animals as well.
For more than 40 years, the drug ivermectin has been used to effectively and safely treat parasites in both humans and animals. The drug has been touted as a cheap and effective treatment for COVID-19. However, reputable health institutions are not supporting its use for either the prevention or treatment of COVID-19, arguing that the findings of studies the world over suggest it is not effective against COVID-19. But Dr. Gilbertha St. Rose and other promoters of ivermectin disagree. Stanley Lucian for the HTS News Force.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
One mother in Jamaica sets out to secure justice for her teen daughter, who was already traumatized by incidents of sexual abuse, having had a recent uncomfortable encounter at a hospital in Hanover. TV6's Codian Barrett provides some details.
This is Letitia Nicholson's second visit to the Lucia police station in days. She tells us she's here on behalf of her child, a minor who alleges she was sexually assaulted by a member of staff at the Noel Holmes Hospital in Hanover.
The male nurse assistant actually go onto the ward and was rubbing down, and she got a panic attack at the same time where somebody shouted for the nurse, where they gave her some assistance there.
The incident, she recounts, happened last Wednesday. Her 15-year-old daughter was in hospital recovering from treatment following a suicide attempt.
We also had to take her from the hospital Saturday night because she wasn't safe, and she said if we don't take her, she's going to commit suicide. So we signed her out of the hospital, where now we have to take her privately seeking medical attention for her.
In a release Monday, the Western Regional Health Authority said it was investigating the incident. It also confirmed that the police have also launched an investigation. The employee implicated in the matter is now in police custody. The incident has also gained the interest of Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, who in a tweet Monday described it as most distressing. Although grateful that progress is being made, Ms. Nicholson says she will be doing all she can for her daughter.
I'm seeking for justice, and I told her, I said, I love you, my baby, and I'm standing with you, and I'm going to seek justice for you. You will get justice, you shall get justice, and you must get justice. So in the future, she's going into the future now, it doesn't keep a scar in her heart, that knowing that her mom knows about a situation which never get to be corrected.
Cody-Ann Barrett, TVJ News.
Barbados' housing minister served notice that people seeking to occupy government lands illegally must be prepared to face the courts.
Housing Minister Dr. William Dugate also sent a direct message to one such individual as he tabled a resolution to approve the lease of 2 parcels of Crown land in the Point St. Michael to Tab Building Limited for use as a car park. Dr. Dugate's warning in Parliament came as he expressed concern that some people were encroaching on government land, hoping to own it.
So those people who feel that they're going to come and put up a fence to try to take on some of the National Housing Corporation land, you got another thing coming, because we go in court on that. And he who I speak of, I hope he's listening to hear what I am saying, because I am not standing for people coming to take up what is not theirs and try to claim it. So to he who I am speaking, move that fence and move it quick, because otherwise we go in court.
In his contribution to the debate, Opposition Leader Bishop Joseph Atherley, however, called on the government to provide more opportunities for ordinary Barbadians to own land. He suggested there was need to overhaul the National Housing Corporation and the island's land policy. He charged that the current policy favors the privileged.
Land policy has to be viewed as a critical component of any policy platform of any serious government. And I don't know that this government has yet signaled that. I have attempted more than once to say my view. We want to bring people into ownership. We want to develop housing programs. We need to see a reformed, a revolutionized role for the state-owned housing entity, which we call the National Housing Corporation. And we need to see more robust attempts to bring people into ownership of land and thereby facilitate them with housing.
Did you know that your friends and family can now shop at the Food Fair from anywhere in the world, and you can receive here in Grenada? The Food Fair and GrenadaMarket.com now make it possible through secure online shopping and personalized customer service. Simply send your loved ones a list of your preferred items or let them fill an online basket, and the items will be available for pickup or delivery. Visit GrenadaMarket.com or thefoodfair.gd today for more details. The new norm. Spread the news.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.